Hello, everybody. Welcome to Go Global World, the 50th event. Can you imagine there were 50 GGW Sharks for the past 2 years? It's been the third Christmas we are celebrating together. And some of the Sharks from today's event were supporting us since the very beginning. We are so grateful to every investor, to every startup who were supporting, who were participating. It's been like around 6,000 or 7,000 people participated so far, online and offline, and we started reaching like crazy numbers. In October, we had GGW Sharks offline. There was 1,000 people registered to our event. No paid marketing whatsoever. It's because of your support. It's because of your love to the event. It's because you guys support each other. We really appreciate that. So let's get started. I'm gonna say a few words about Go Global World. Then I'll present the rules and the Sharks, and I'll let the Sharks, the investors, present themselves in a broader details, and we'll get right into it. Now, I'm going to show you a few slides about us, the main sponsor and organizer of the event. Go Global World is the platform. It's actually an ecosystem with a large startup investor community. We have a group of companies where Go Global World have an investment arm where we invest at Seed Series A with their separate investment team. We have GGW Services as a separate team that does tax filing, accounting, and back office services. And the main technology, the main platform, and the main company I lead is Go Global World platform, where we connect founders and investors. And it's very simple. You create your profile. It's free to create a profile, and it's not just a static profile. The system actually uses very complex mathematics and algorithms to identify the other side, either investor or a startup who's extremely relevant to your criteria. And if you're a startup, the system will be pitching on your behalf 24/7 to relevant investors. And if the other side accepts, it's a match. So you can talk now, you can jump on a Zoom, you can continue for a coffee, and then it's all in your hands. So we put very limited, straightforward information in the eyes of investors. When they see a startup, it's already relevant to their investors. But in our case, we believe that it's not enough. We give a very brief summary of the business model, stage, what they do, and the traction, and half of the screen is taken by 60-second video elevator pitch. So a relevant startup creates an emotion in the eyes of investors, so then they really decide like whether they want to proceed or not. So making it more meaningful, stronger connection, so then you can present like in a very convenient environment if they accept. Now, when we say relevant, we mean it, because we've built a very complex technology to identify this relevance, and we do this matching within pre-approved, pre-selected network. So no one is gonna be approved until they go through verification, screening by my team, and some of the people go even through interviews. We really protect the audience on our ecosystem. All right, so enough about Go Global World. Then today's event is the 50th event. We have amazing panel of Sharks. I'm gonna quickly present them because I don't want to steal their presentation. They will say so well about themselves. We have Destini, Brodi from MBA Fund, Chirag, Goel from Atom VC, Angelica, Morrone from Privilège Ventures. She's been with us like since the first events. Actually, she was on the first event, literally. Remember that?
Reichert.
Yes, I remember that. It was fantastic. It was just two investors on the first event. Bill Reichert from Pegasus Tech Ventures. It's an amazing fund. They do also a huge, amazing event, Startup World Cup. I was privileged to participate in the recent one as one of the judges, and I'm so grateful for that. But Bill, since the beginning as well, he's supporting us since the first or second events. It's like really long time already. So we're grateful for that. Sarah Romanko, Geek Ventures, we know her for a while as well, and we met with her in person not so long ago at one of the large tech events, and so exciting to have her as well. Now, before I let investors to present themselves, I will speak about the rules. Very straightforward, simple, just follow it to make this event the most amazing for each other. Please keep yourself muted all the time. If some noise happens, I have to remove people just to ensure the quality of the event continues. Then raise your hand to pitch. Everyone who wants to pitch need to raise the hand. It's a digital hand here in Zoom, and we will be giving a chance to pitch by the order we receive hands. Those who want to pitch, they need to put their first name, last name, and the company, and they keep video on, so we ensure that it's you who you are. And then after that, my team will decide who next to pitch. And those who fill their startup profile and email us to pitch, we have the priority to pitch, and also our subscribers, they have the priority to pitch first. And everyone else on the first come first serve basis. It's a free event, so we want to give the opportunity to pitch to everyone. But usually we have less time than the amount of hands, so those who won't pitch will get a chance to pitch on the following events. Just email my team. And here's the mail info@GoGlobalWorld. We promise to give you an opportunity to pitch. Respect time, it's a 2-minute elevator pitch plus questions and feedback. We connect you with investors only if investors say they are they're interested to connect, and only then we promise to give you a personal introduction via email, and then you continue directly with investors. Investors don't have to take a connection with you. If they really want this, they say in for the sake of potentially reviewing for the fund, or maybe they want to connect you with other peer of investors, or maybe they want to give you an advice. It's up to them. It may happen no one would get an investor connection. We never had it, but I mean, it's life, it's real. We don't want to force anyone to take decisions they don't want. It's a real thing. Now, how to make this ideal elevator pitch? Keep it as a story, get to the point of what you do. It's always been asked by investors on every event, every feedback. They want to understand in a short period of time what exactly you do and why are you unique. And if you have traction, show it, tell it, like what is your traction. And remember that it's not the only investors we have on the panel. We also have investors in the chat, but most importantly, you have each other. Founders support founders, exchange your contacts, support each other on after every pitch, or just be part of the same network. And support is important for everyone. And make some noise. Let's take screenshots. It's been a 50th event. Post it on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you use. Tag Go Global World, speakers, myself, and others. This is our contacts, our website, goglobal.world, and our email info@goglobal.world. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's been 50th event. So let's get started. I'm excited to have the judges in here, and let's start with Angelica. Angelica, please tell a few words about yourself, your criteria, and your fund.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon for me. I'm calling from Zurich, Switzerland. I apologize. I had a really bad cold, so my voice is not exactly clear. I am the general partner of Privilège Venture, one of the 2 general partners. Our current funds invest in health tech, clean tech, and agri-food tech. We love to have gender mixed teams, even better if they are in Europe or Switzerland. However, we're always open to look at all kinds of amazing opportunities, and I very much look forward to hearing the pitches today.
We're excited to have you, and you've been since the beginning with us. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You're Reichert, you're next. Tell us about yourself, the criteria, maybe the event as well, if you want to say a few words, or maybe later, up to you.
Sure. Again, thank you, Daniel, and again, thank you for all of your support. And can't believe it's been 50 events, but great to see some familiar faces. Great to be back. So my name is Bill Reichert, and I'm a general partner at Pegasus Tech Ventures. Pegasus is a global venture capital firm based here in beautiful, well, not so sunny right now, but in any case. But we invest pretty much across the board. Across what we do is we're investing for global corporations across technology sectors that they're interested in, and we've got a network of over 40 global corporations, and so we invest in almost everything and anything, in IT, hardware, software, life science, material science, clean tech, Sort of, it's hard to imagine a sector we don't invest in. We also invest in every stage, from pre-seed to late stage. So we're very, very broad in our reach and in our appetites. So in any case, Daniel had said before that we weren't supposed to sell stuff, but I'm going to take advantage. Maybe I'll sell some stuff later on. But in any case, thank you, Daniel, for giving me the opening. One of the things that Pegasus does that has been extraordinarily exciting and rewarding is we launched a program several years ago. 8 years ago, we launched a program called Startup World Cup, and it has ballooned into the now biggest and richest startup competition on the planet. So this year, we're going to do 100 separate regional competitions around the planet. And the global grand prize winner gets a $1 million check. So it's a pretty extraordinary event that has grown way beyond our expectations. But so we're going to be doing a Startup World Cup event in concert with CES on January 9th. So if you are going to CES, then please let us know. Go to startupworldcup.io and you can register there. I think at this point the applications are closed. So applications for startups to pitch are closed. But when you go to Startup World Cup, look for a regional competition near you, and pay attention to when the applications will be open, and would love to see you on stage at one of our Startup World Cup competitions. So enough about us. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you. And I'll be in Las Vegas as well at CES. I will definitely join Startup World Cup. But if any of you is in CES, just shoot me a note, and probably we can have a coffee or just have a quick conversation. It's exciting. Thank you. Chirag, Goel, you next. Tell us about your fund, yourself, about Chicago.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much, Daniil, and for the invitation to join today's event. It's great to be a part of this esteemed group of judges here. And yes, I am calling from Chicago, where it's been kind of cold and gloomy the past few weeks. We've had some single-digit degree days. We've had some 40-degree days, all kind of at once. So my name is Chirag Goel. I'm an investor with a firm called Adams VC. We invest early stage, and we're based in Chicago, but we invest across the US, exclusively in hard tech companies spanning med tech, climate tech, productivity, automation, advanced materials. So long as there's robust IP backing, that would be a company that Adams would be interested in. We like to invest in companies typically at the seed and Series A level, usually once they hit $250,000 to $500,000 in ARR, unless they're a highly regulated medtech company. And so we typically look to invest $500,000 to $1 million as a first check, have $1 million in reserve capital. My academic and former investing background is in healthcare, so I primarily focus on the medtech side of our firm, which encompasses about half the deals that we look at. So in addition to being an investor, I'm also a founder of an early stage consumer electronics company, which I've been working on for a few years. And so if that doesn't give you some hint into the fact that I love hard tech, that I live and breathe hard tech, I hope that should give you some context into that. And so I'm very excited to hear the pitches and from everyone here today.
All right, excited to have you, and thank you for the introduction. We're moving on. The next person to present is Sarah Romanko. Sarah, your turn.
Hey everyone, I'm Sarah. I'm on the investment team at Geek Ventures. I'm based here in Austin, Texas. Geek Ventures invests at the pre-seed and seed stages. We are specifically sector agnostic within tech. We do 200 to 800K check sizes, and we specifically look for immigrant founders to the United States. We define that as first generation immigrants, so meaning that the founder was born in another country and then moved to the US. In exceptional cases, we consider future immigrants. We also would like the company to be a Delaware C corporation and the US to be a key market. We typically don't lead priced rounds, but we can kickstart safe rounds. Top 3 things that we look for in founders. The founder has a founder market fit. They have a perfectly formulated why now. And finally, the team knows how to sell. That's a little bit about us. Feel free to reach out on LinkedIn if you're interested in learning more. It's great to be here.
Exciting. And anyone you select today, we will definitely happy to connect via email or any of the investors. By the way, we are planning an offline event in Austin. We haven't set the dates yet, but we already have one family office already interested to be there and even sponsor, and there are some other sponsors. So happy to discuss it with you. Maybe you have some ideas.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. And Destini, Brodi, you're opening our global event. No pressure. Please say a few words about yourself, your fund, and we'll get started.
Yeah, hello everyone. Happy holidays. My name is Destini. I have 12 plus years of experience in the social entrepreneurship, impact investing, private equity, and advisory space. I started off in the PEVC space working at the Carlyle Group, and currently I make investments out of the Minority Business Accelerator Fund, which is a US Midwest focused fund. We are industry agnostic. We invest in B2B, B2G solutions, and we look to invest in organizations with at least $1 million in annualized revenue. We also look for founders who are marginalized or from a marginalized background or support low to moderate census tracts. And then our typical check size is between 250K to 2 million. And if you're not a good fit for this focused fund, which is very focused on a specific thing, I also have started a new venture, Intersectional Ventures, which looks to highlight intersectional entrepreneurs on their journey within the deep tech space. So if that is a potential fit, that's also something to think about.
Thank you so much. Excited to have you. So for any investors who are not registered on the platform and want to meet our startups and other investors, create your profiles. You have your full access to the deal flow we provide. And startups, create your detailed profiles so then these connections are happening sooner. Even if you don't get a chance to pitch, you'll be able to meet the investors from this panel or from the other panels or from our broader network. And with that said, we're getting started. I'm kicking out myself from the stage, and Daniel Kopi is going to present. Daniel, how are you? You got 2 minutes.
Hi.
And you may start now.
Thank you for giving me the floor. Congratulations with the 50th event. So, 30 million visa and green card applications were filed in the US last year. 30 million. But filing an immigration case is a burden, is a part-time job. I started my green card process 3 years ago, and with the first lawyer, my case was denied by the US government. The second lawyer took my money and disappeared for half a year. So it was a constant stress, and I almost got divorced because of it. So when I finally got my green card in August this year, I decided that this process should not be so complex, costly, slow, and exhausting. So I created VisaNow.ai. We help immigrants with visas, with green cards, and other immigration-related issues like understanding US taxes, healthcare, and more. Think of it this way. When you start a new job, you get onboarding. But who onboards immigrants to the US? We will. I'm Daniel Kopi, CEO and founder of VisaNow. I'm an entrepreneur with 2 exits. Since August, I've built a diverse founding team, all immigrants, Sarah, with expertise in product, technology, AI, and customer acquisition. I lead sales. We've secured our first several B2B clients, immigration attorneys, and we've had already first paying B2C clients in December, even though our MVP will be deployed in January. Please don't talk to our clients. We charge B2C customers $1,000 for document preparation, and our current CAC is less than $40. This gives us a CAC to LTV ratio 1 to 25. We are raising $500,000 in pre-seed funding to hit 200K in MRR within 12 months. Thank you very much.
Well done.
So Daniel, do you happen to know my historic relationship with VisaNow?
No.
So I invested in VisaNow back in 2004.
It's the same name?
Yes, the same name. So you do not know. You don't know this history. So
I don't.
Wow.
Wow. Please tell.
you should know. You should know this history, the history of your URL. But yes, so we invested in we invested in Visa now back in 2004. Around this obvious idea. The CEO, the founder was an immigration attorney and was on the the advisory board to back then what was known as BCIS or whatever the Immigrations Bureau. But and we wound up selling it to General Atlantic for a nice profit. Got a very nice, I think it was an 8x return on the investment. And they renamed it Envoy Global. So I don't know if you know. I assume you know Envoy Global, because by the time we sold it, they were one of the top five immigration. They were one of the top five visa processors in the United States, and so yes, so I have a long history with what you are up to. What they found was it was extraordinarily painful working with individuals. And so so the business model wound up being to be the visa support service for corporations, because it's really corporations who care about, who have a sort of a compelling need to solve the visa problem, right? So immigrants have a compelling need to solve the visa problem, but there's nobody there to support. I mean, there's nobody there who has an economic compulsion the way that corporations do. But so in any case, having been said, I need to understand what your differentiation is going to be versus Envoy Global. And
We
it
use
sounds like
AI.
I'm sure you they do as well. Okay, we use AI. Okay, AI, you realize, is table stakes, right? I mean, AI is table stakes, and so, but I'll let God bless. I'll be interested to see what you're planning on doing, if you're at all into. I mean, I don't know if I have a lot of bandwidth to sort of advise you on my experience with visa processing, but you certainly should, check out this history and understand kind of what VisaNow.com was doing now Envoy Global. So
Thank you
If I
very
could
much.
jump in here, when do you plan to start generating revenue?
We've already started. We have our first clients paid $3,000 last and previous week.
Okay.
How much does it cost to do a customer acquisition for you?
It's $40.
Oh, so that's very reasonable.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, you said something about an MVP being launched. Can you speak more on that?
Yeah, actually, we are going to launch our MVP in January. Currently, we have there are 3 phases in our product. First is eligibility evaluation of a customer of your case. Second is gathering all the documents for the visa preparation, and the third part is generating all the documents, visa petition, forms, letters, and everything. So currently we have done the first part, the easiest one. We are in the process, in the middle of the second phase, and the third phase will be done in January. So we'll be able to provide the full scale visa preparation in January, and at the end of the day, the visa case preparation, what used to be like 4 to 5 months, now it will take just 1 week with our product. So this is our key differentiation from other companies.
I had a question related to gathering information for the front end for your the people, your audience. How many languages are available for those information, that content? And then who are your specific geographic locations right now?
we are focused on the US market mainly. So the first year, we are going to work with the US immigration only. So people from around the world coming to the US. Next year, like second and third year, we are going to expand to the European countries, Australia and others. And speaking about the languages, currently we have 8 languages in our model, in our bot. It's on our website and it's on our proprietary platform. And a petitioner can speak with this bot in Telegram and WhatsApp and all the messengers, currently with 8 languages, but we can expand it to other languages easily. Like we took the 8 languages because they are most popular in the world right now. And then when we have more clients from other countries with other languages, we will expand in no time.
Right. So, and the final question I have to the judges: who is interested to connect with them? Who is in? Who is out? Let's start with Sarah. Are you in or out? And if you are,
I'd like to just take a look at the pitch deck.
does it say? Is it like you interested to have an email introduction or not?
Yes.
Perfect. So we have 1 shark
Thank
in.
you.
Congratulations, and we have 4 left. Let's see what they say. Chirag, what do you say?
Unfortunately, I have to be out for this one just because it's not a fit for our fund, thesis-wise, but congratulations on all the progress so far.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Destiny, what do you say?
I would say it's not a fit for my thesis right now, but I'm happy to look at your pitch deck and provide you with advice.
Right. So then it's like another connection. Thank you so much, Destiny. It's 2 sharks interested. Bill Reichert.
So, side note, it happened, Chirag, that the original visa now was based in Chicago, but on North LaSalle. But in any case, so Daniel, okay. I mean, I'd be happy to sort of offer some feedback based on our experience.
But you guys
Thank
don't
you
have
so much.
to. It's as if like you really have time for this. I definitely will connect, but appreciate that. So 3 sharks are in. And Angelica, Morrone, what do you say?
It is a really good project. I love what you're doing. I think it has a great impact. It falls really outside of my thesis, and I don't think I can be of help even advising you. So good luck with everything, though.
That's what
Thank you.
for you, Daniel. Good luck. Please share your information in the chat, your GGW profile, and support others. We're moving on, and the next person to present is Siesta from VTime. Siesta, you ready? Please unmute yourself. We cannot hear you.
Hello, thank you very much, and good evening for everybody, or good afternoon, or good morning. I'm Sietse, CEO and founder of VTime AI, and we help hotels offer personalized recommendations to guests directly on their in-room TV. It increases guest satisfaction, and it's generating more revenue for hotels. Hotels face the challenge to provide information about local services, restaurants, and activities to guests, and they miss out, what leads to frustration and less satisfaction. And for hotels, it's it's missing revenue. VTime AI makes it easy for hotels to promote it, and this directly on the TV screen. The TV, or actually the channel that we use, is a TV, and the system adapts to the guest preferences. So they give in who is traveling, which travel group, their budget, and their interests, and it shows actually the recommendations in the city for them based on location of the hotel, based on their travel itinerary that they choose. If they see something that they like, they can book it directly by scanning a QR code, and it goes to the partners that are offering the service. We have already signed contracts with Lilio, and we have pilot projects with IPTV providers like a Pixie and a Passman in Europe. And we're also in discussion with Orange France and Proximus to roll out the system further. By partnering with IPTV providers, we actually go faster, and instead of selling directly to hotels, and we can activate more than 1,000 hotel rooms at a time. Our pricing is quite simple. We charge per room, and that's $250 per room per month. And with more than 100,000 rooms in the pipeline, the opportunity is, of course, large. And unlike other systems that requires apps or additional hardware, VTime works directly on the TV. It's cost efficient, easy to roll out, and we offer the solution that directly help the hotels and improve the quality. We're raising 150 to expand our partnership with our TPV providers and close larger deals.
All right.
If you, that's
Please
all.
say your final statement. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Like your first time. And yeah, dear Sharks, do you have any questions to Sietze?
What's your differentiation?
Well, actually, we have our AI is built in-house, so we don't use an LLM or any other existing system outside. It's trained only for travel, so we really go deep in personalization. And actually, in this space, we already know that we are quite unique for the TV.
Boy, it's so hard to believe you're unique. I mean, it's so there's a graveyard of startups that have tried to do this. And, you know, I mean, you really need to convince us that I mean, you can't say you're unique and because you don't use ChatGPT. I mean, that is not unique.
No, I fully agree, Bill. That's true. Normally, I would say, yeah, you're right. But actually, we are talking with the biggest players in the room for the moment, and we are really opening the door with one call. And if we show our product, it's really not a static page. While they use on this moment mostly static pages that offer the standard information like the Eiffel Tower or a boat trip, but that's not what we do. We really go deep into who and what they want to do into the city.
I mean, okay, you know, maybe it's prettier and nicer and more dynamic, but I'll tell you again, you know, you got to explain to us why every smart entrepreneur who's tried to do this for the past 20 years has failed. And somehow you've got, you know, something that is like dramatically better, you know, sort of prettier pictures is not good enough to differentiate you from everybody else who's tried to do this. Not to mention you've got TripAdvisor, you've got Google, you've got all these other ways, and that, you know, right? So it's just been so painful for entrepreneurs to try to do this. And unfortunately, you get entrepreneurs, they get a few hotels and they think they're on, you know, they're on their way to unicorn status. And then they languish, you know, in trying to expand beyond the first initial pilots. So again, you know, tell us why this is dramatically, compellingly better and different.
Well, one thing is we actually share revenue with the hotels. So that's one thing. Our conversion rate is 3 times higher than the market standard rate. So if a person uses our system, we get the feedback from the partners that we use, like tickets, like a Viator, who is actually TripAdvisor, that our conversion rate is 3 times higher than the market standard rate. That's 3%. We go up to 12%. And we go really deeply in the personalization, and it's easier for the hotels to use. So, and next to it, because our AI is fully in-house, we're actually lining up the airlines also. So yes, Destiny.
Who are you directly competing against? Who are you taking market share from?
Actually, in this moment, the receptionists and the static pages on the system that exists. So mostly the hotels manage the pages themselves. There is one Get Your Guide has a system that lists up their possibilities in the city, but that's it. It's a really, really strange market because we were actually focused on B2C market, and it's the IPTV providers themselves who came to us to ask and begged us to create it for their systems.
Yeah, many years ago, there was a company called Ask Jeeves, which was supposed to be a concierge. You remember that, Bill, right?
Not exactly the same, but yeah, I get it.
But it was something almost as a concierge, and it was a search engine, and it purported to be better than Yahoo and Google and many other things. And at the end of the day, it wasn't. So it is extremely important that you do have a unique value proposition. And the in-house AI, with all the millions and billions that are around, I don't think cuts it. So I just want you to be aware of that.
Thank you very much, Angelica.
And we probably have about 15 seconds for one last question, if any. All right, then I have a question to the Sharks. Who is in, who is out? Angelica, are you in or out?
No, it's out of my thesis, and I think it's actually a dangerous, overcrowded field.
Thank you. Your record.
Thank you. I'll pass.
Destiny.
I'm passing.
Thank you. And Chirag, and then Sarah.
I'm also out for this one. I would say it's a very, very competitive landscape that you're dealing with, something that has been tried and done several times before. But one thing I would encourage you is that if you say get an all-star player on your team, someone who's like ex TripAdvisor or ex, one of these large companies that really sees the value proposition in what you're doing, I think then there's a better sell, especially at this early stage.
Thank you. Sarah, your final say.
Yes, I'm going to be out because it's a very competitive market, and also we only invest in companies who have US as a key market.
Siatsa, this is your feedback. Thanks for presenting. Please share your GGW profile in the chat, and we're moving on. Please support others.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up is Alex Pamelnikov from 100 Franklins. Alex, you there? All right. Can you hear us?
Yes.
You got 2 minutes. Let's rock.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Pamelnikov, and I am the CFO at 100 Franklins. The Web3 and crypto space has grown to over 600 million users, yet 70% of projects fail due to speculation and lack of liquidity and short-term thinking. This cost billions in investor losses and slowed innovation. At 100 Franklins, we provide an alternative to speculative market by building a venture business without token. Our platform connects vetted high-quality Web3 projects with an educated, engaged audience, fostering sustainable long-term growth. Our clickable MVP is live and ready for review, and you can explore our journey to becoming a unicorn at 100f.com. Our platform has already gained traction over the past period. We have onboarded over 27,000 plus wait-listed users. We attracted over 1,000 influencers with a combined reach of over 1 billion people, and we helped over 100 projects partner with exchanges like Bybit, Gate, and OKX. Our MVP demonstrates how we onboard and assess projects using a proprietary rating system, bringing transparency to investors and providing projects with visibility and support. What sets us apart is our strong team of Web3 and finance veterans who focus on making by numbers and not promises. We are at the start of our fundraising journey, and we invite you to join us. 100 Franklins is building the infrastructure for the next generation of blockchain innovation, a system based on trust, sustainability, and impact, not speculation. Check out our MVP and vision at 100f.com, and let's shape the future of Web3 together. We are raising 1.7 million at 12 valuation. Thank you, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. And you didn't mention much about your traction, but as far as ever, you have something. Dear Sharks, do you have any questions?
Well, I mean, what I thought I heard, and I'm not sure if what I thought I heard is that you are customer acquisition for Web3 projects. Is that what you're doing? I mean, it sounded like but then it sounded like you're a matchmaker for services or support for Web3 developers. Or forgive me, I didn't quite get what the core business model is and what the core value proposition is.
Sure. So, in short, we are building an ecosystem that connects qualified projects with educated crypto audience.
So it is customer acquisition for Web3 sites. Is that what?
It's a B2C, B2B business, yes. So there are investors in crypto space that are looking for different projects. And on the other side, there are projects that are looking for audience. So our platform connects those two in a different manner.
So anyway, so the thesis here is that 9 out of 10 Web3 projects are bogus. You're going to find the 10th and connect them with. Is that the underlying thesis here?
It's only one part of it. Crypto projects, they are looking for not only opportunity to raise funds, but they're also looking, the major thing that they're looking for is the qualified audience that are not looking to just speculate on their tokens, but to actually engage with the project. So that's what we're doing. We are helping them with one of the major problems in the crypto space market is the speculation, where majority of investors, they dump their tokens as soon as they get them, or as soon as they have an opportunity.
Right, right. So, okay, maybe if you were to do give us a quick case study of an example of, of what you did that was win-win-win. I don't know, or if you guys have other questions, maybe rather than doing a case study, if you want to ask another.
I was curious, just how do you make money?
So we have different options. There are 5 ways how we make money. Primarily, it's the subscription model from both investors and projects, and we have 5 ways how we can monetize also the projects.
You have a fairly rich valuation for a somewhat unclear value proposition for me. Maybe because I'm not from the space. Have you gotten any feedback from other investors? Is it clear that you're selling something of value to the ecosystem? I like the idea, but I just can't see it clearly.
Yes, we obviously do. Unfortunately, in 2 minutes, it's hard to present the clear vision and understanding. But we do have, we do have already other investors looking at the project. We do have pitch deck. We do have the data room. We already have, traction with the projects, with audience. We already made over $340,000 in revenue. So we are fully blown, ready to go with the MVP project.
My question is that you said that you're bringing transparency. So the goal is to help Web3 products get into the market or into the space to meet crypto investors. And you give them the expertise or information on those products to figure out whether or not they want to invest in them, is what I believe you're doing. So I just want to understand a little bit more about how you're doing that. What information are you collecting? Are you going directly to those Web3 products and getting and gleaning information? How are you unique in that regard as well?
So in short, to kind of not take a lot of time, but to explain today's activity in the market. So a lot of Web3 projects today, they use launch pads to attract audience. And they offer their tokens to different audience. And when audience buy those tokens, they pretty much dump it as soon as they have a chance. What we suggest, what we propose is by using our platform, first of all, we rate investors, the audience that get to on our platform, and we rate them on different things, right? So for the audience for investors that get to our platform, we offer them opportunity not to just dump the project, to make money on the project by dumping the token as soon as it's listed on the market, but to use different offers from the company to keep the token and keep making money long term. So instead of using the speculation model, we use a long-term growth model that helps companies, have the audience that they need and pretty much communicate and work with the audience in different options and keep the audience engaged.
All right. Thank you. So final question to the investors, briefly to say your opinion, if you're in or out. Who is in, who is out? Anyone interested to connect with Alex? All right.
Sorry.
Okay. Alex, thank you so much. This is your feedback, and I think clear value proposition is one of those. Please share your information here in the chat. There are more investors, and please support others and continue creating some difference in crypto space.
Sure. Thank you very much.
We're moving up, and thank you. The next one is Dare from Jacket Tech. Dare, are you ready? Please turn on your camera. We cannot hear you. You're muted there. 3, 2, 1. If you're not responding, we have to give the space to the other person. One last call. All right. So the next up is Sunil. Sunil, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
Let me find you. I don't see you. Just a second. Sunil. So many hands today. Oh. Did you raise your hand? I don't see you. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you got 2 minutes and you may start now.
Thank you, Daniel. Hi, Sharks. Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Sunil Ravi Party. I'm based in San Francisco Bay Area. I work for Anthem Health Insurance Company, which is based out of Indianapolis.
Sorry, please be
Anthem
louder.
Digital.
It's hard to hear you.
Oh, sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
A
we
little
can.
bit.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, Sharks. My name is Sunil Ravi Party. I work for Anthem Healthcare in Palo Alto, leading the digital cybersecurity. And one of the biggest challenges we faced is, you've seen all the breaches which have happened in healthcare in the past decade. And Anthem itself got breached. And we built a trusted security layer connecting the payer members and providers to launch a digital platform called Health Operating System to provide to cater for unique insights. And that prompted me that this is a problem across every healthcare provider. So I left Anthem, joined Department of Homeland Security, and we launched Yota Secure, um, doing doing market fit, and also talking to a few federal agencies. And with Yota Secure, we use AI Copilot to detect vulnerabilities in software stack based on the context of the application and in near real time, give insights and create a risk profile using our machine learning model, which would categorize based on critical, high, medium, low, looking at the vulnerabilities and also data security and privacy, specifically in healthcare. And we also connect with EHR. So we launched the platform and we have a couple of customers, paying customers, and we have a team of 5 people with experience in healthcare, and also veterans and non-healthcare commercial aspects. So we've been doing vulnerability management, pen testing, compliance like SOC 2, HIPAA for our customers, and we see that not only the cost factor but also the ease to use and identify vulnerabilities and rank them with the risk profile seems to be the most needed for customers because the current tools lack the real-time aspect as well as they give a needle in the haystack problem. They spew out so many vulnerabilities. Thank you.
Thank you. Dear Sharks, do you have any questions to Sunil?
So, Sunil, are you familiar with White Hat Security, which now is owned by NTT? Does that ring any bells to you?
I'm familiar with White Hat Security, Bill.
Pardon, you are.
Yeah, I am. Thank you.
So is it? I mean, so that's so we were early investors in White Hat, sold it to NTT. It sounds very similar to what you're doing, specifically in healthcare. Is that fair? Am I understanding you correctly? So
Yes, and specifically, we are looking at healthcare as our primary target. In fact, one of our advisors is from Anthem CISO team. based in Indianapolis. I was there in Indianapolis meeting the CISO team a few months ago.
Okay, but so your sort of real-time continuous vulnerability assessment for healthcare, including insurance as well as hospital system, sort of websites and networks. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and you're right, aptly, Bill. And also, we connect with the federal databases like NASWAS and other vulnerability databases which federal agencies publish for CISA events, CVSS score, so we can get the data and enrich our model. And we also patch cloud native images. So we are on the open source CNCF, a Linux Foundation. So we work with Microsoft on a product called COPA, which is used to patch all the cloud native runtime images.
Okay, so how do you do zero-day threats and attacks? I mean,
Yeah, so essentially, because of our continuous AI monitoring solution, model solution, what we
yeah.
do is we do a preemptive zero-day attacks is by looking at threats published in other databases, and not only from databases, but also at semantic and the application gaps based on the topology. So we read into the configuration of the application and identify any gaps, and also we look at connect with existing threat modeling tools as well.
So Neil,
Okay.
can you give some color as to who your champions have been so far? Do you have LOIs? Where you're at as far as stage goes? Because it sounds like you personally, you have a lot of background within healthcare. You seem like you're there's founder product fit with this, but where are you guys at now in terms of stage?
Yeah, thank you, Chirag. We are at seed stage. We bootstrapped and we launched and we have onboarded few customers. And Anthem is one of the customers who we are talking to, potential customers for proof of concept, because their requirements are huge. And we being at seed stage, it's kind of challenging to meet all the requirements.
And in that light, there's a lot of companies that are trying to do fraud protection and just vulnerability detection. How do you guys see yourself standing out amongst those types of companies? Because there's one that I'm talking with right now. It's out of this company is out of thesis for us, but he's a colleague, he's a physician that I know, but he's an advisor for a company who's doing something very similar. So how do you guys see yourself standing out?
Yeah, we distinguish or we stand out basically primarily more on two factors. One is the patent we have. So we collaborated with MIT. We have a patent through MIT Research, which we licensed, so that we could accurately predict based on the tests done with the modeling. One aspect of that is, and the second is on the price point as well. Our existing customers see that our price point is at a sweet spot compared to vendors who have a breadth of tools and they are going horizontal rather than vertical. So we go vertically deep only on vulnerability management and also patching. So we talked to Cloudera's VP, and their challenge is that their tools have identified all the vulnerabilities, but there is no solution to patch these vulnerabilities. And that's where we also provide the last mile solution to patch as well, and with our domain expertise for high trust and HIPAA compliance needs for
All
healthcare,
right.
insurance, or providers, we bring in that expertise too.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. And the final questions to the Sharks. Who is interested to connect with Sunil? Who is in? Who's out? Anyone in?
I'll say that I'm in, even though this is out of thesis for us. This is not a hard tech company. I have a lot of connections within the healthcare space, and that's my domain. So I'd be happy to touch base with you after this.
Congrats. One Shark is in.
Thank you,
Anyone
Chirag.
else?
Okay.
All right.
I'll pass.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh,
I
Destini?
would like, I'm sorry. I would like to see your pitch deck if possible, and then connect you to people I know.
Perfect.
Sure. Thank you, Destiny.
All right. This is so we'll connect you after the event today, tomorrow, and please share your GGW profile. We're moving on. The next
Thank
person
you.
to present is Alek Golinker. Alek, are you ready?
Yeah, I am. Hi,
All right.
everyone.
You got 2 minutes.
All right. Hi, everyone. So I'm Oleg, the founder and CEO of Truly. Truly is a photo sharing app for private groups. Imagine you celebrate your birthday with your friends and family. So everyone enjoys your time. You would send photos to each other, normally on WhatsApp. And that's the problem. On average, every WhatsApp chat has an average of 14 text messages per photo in every given chat, in addition to 57,000 photos that we take every second. This creates an enormous clutter on our phones, and but we still use WhatsApp for photo sharing. Why are we using it if we know that this will be the first and the last time when we actually see these photos? They will be buried. The answer is simple. There is no better tool that has been invented, and it's not built for photo sharing. So that's what we are building. I know there's been multiple attempts to solve this problem. All of them have failed because the time wasn't right, because the on-device AI technology wasn't possible, or because the team wasn't there. I believe our team is the best position to actually solve this problem. In my previous job, I was a founding CTO of Global E, which had a 4 billion Nasdaq IPO and is currently trading at 9 as we speak. After successfully exiting, I am working on Truly together with our killer consumer products team based in London. And our app is now available on both Google and Apple stores. And now we are raising 500K pre-seed round that would take us to traction metrics that no seed stage VC will refuse in a few months. And 30% of this has been already secured, actually. So any brave and smart investors who are not afraid of consumer space, more than welcome to join. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Alec. A quick question for you.
Sure.
With my team, we used the shared album on iPhone. Tell me why I would need something else.
Yeah, the problem is that it's not cross-platform. Basically, you would need, if half of your group are on iPhone and half of your group are on Android, then you would have some problems, actually. That's the main thing.
So I want to understand, like, why not like Google Photos, like to share?
Yeah, so Google Photos obviously are available on iPhone. The problem is that in June 2021, they stopped giving out their storage for free. Basically, all your photos and videos are now part of your regular Gmail quota, and you will have to pay for it. So basically, they prioritize revenue over growth. Only 6% of iPhone users are currently using Google Photos. So their revenue is over the roof, but the growth is not there, and there is no way back. Now Google Photos and Google Drive is part of the Google One offering, and there is no way back. So they are, strictly speaking, not cross-platform. There is no reason for iPhone user to pay twice for their backup to iCloud and to Google Drive.
With that in mind, then, how does your pricing model compare to Google Photos? And then how much more storage would you get?
So basically, we have heavily optimized our solution. It's all running on edge device. Basically, we are almost not using storage. All the photos that you share are shared in a slightly better than WhatsApp resolution. All memories that we create on your device are backed up to your own iCloud and or Google Drive, depending on your platform. So we're not using it. This will obviously create us an amazing opportunity for premium features in the future. But actually, our business model will not start from monetizing consumers. We will monetize them down the road, but we'll start from monetizing actually event venues and event planners and event hosts where people come to celebrate things like birthday or meetups or you name it. So that's where we're starting.
So is it a plugin to WhatsApp messages, et cetera, et cetera? In other words, I don't want another app, right?
Right. It's not, it is another app, but there is a way for you, there is now a way for you to not have to download the app every time. So basically, iPhone and Android offer now a technology which is called app clips on iPhone, for example, which allows you to install up to 50 megabyte binary on your phone that will be using a Safari engine for you to actually use on your phone. It will be live for 30 days, and then we'll have 30 days to convince you to upgrade to the full app. You will need the full app at some point, but we have this luxury basically to start your onboarding from not having to necessarily install it.
Okay. But then I got to rebuild. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Final question to the Sharks. Who is interested to connect with Oleg?
I'm not interested, but I wanted to ask, how are you thinking about your customer service? So if something happens with the app, who do they reach out to? Is that system in place? And then also for the 500K seed round that you're raising, what is the use of funds for that?
Yeah, so regarding the customer service is currently not in place. We don't have to a huge user base. We'll have to set it up obviously at some point. So regarding the use of funds, about 50% will be used for ramping up the technology, especially the on-device AI that we're using. And the 30% will be spent on marketing and 20% operations. That's roughly the numbers.
No more questions? Okay. Is there anyone on the panel of investors interested to connect with investors? Who's in, who's out?
Sorry.
Okay, no problem. All right, Oleg, thank you for the presentation. Please share your GGW profile, support others, and continue nailing your projects. Yeah.
Thank you.
Be successful. Thank you.
Thank
The next up is Anderson Pereira. Anderson, you ready? Okay, see ya. You got 2 minutes and
yes, I am. Just let me put the timer here for a second and let's go. So thank you all. Happy holidays for everyone. My name is Andy. I'm Andy Pereira, founder and CEO at Capital. Capital was born in my master thesis at MIT, where I studied deeply about SME lending. And we basically developed a solution that allows small merchants to use their account receivables as a method of payment to buy more inventory. So we're basically operating in Brazil. We have a technology that allows merchants offer buy now, pay later to their consumers so they can split their payments in several installments and use their installments with no fee to buy more inventory with some partner suppliers. Our revenue model is based on the suppliers who we charge a small percentage fee for every transaction they accept as a payment method. So far, we have raised $1 million with angels and institutional investors. We're running around $300,000 in account receivables volume portfolio per month in around $10,000 in MRR. So far, we just recently raised a credit facility, so $10 million to fund our customers. And we basically have two different revenue streams. We charge a fee per transaction, but if the supplier wants to cash in advance all the installments, they can also use our credit facility to do so. We're now 12 people working on that, over 1 year operating, and I'm really looking forward to connect with you and answering your questions. Thank you, guys.
thank you. Right.
Okay.
So Andy, yeah. So we're investors in Fundbox. Do you know the Fundbox model? Are you familiar with them? But
No.
so they're somewhat similar SME financing. They have a primarily line of credit financing. They also do some payroll financing around somewhat similar to what you're doing. A factoring like kind of concept. And so, you know, the big issue is, you know, sort of customer acquisition, credit scoring, and risk management for small merchants where you do not have a great deal of data on their credit worthiness, particularly in Brazil, I'm guessing. So, so it's but it's an interesting idea if you can solve all those problems. What's your secret in terms of risk management?
Thank you for the question, Bill. Basically, we develop a solution that is basically in account receivables on credit card sales. So if someone buys something on credit card in Brazil and don't pay the bill, the person doesn't own the merchant itself. The person owns the bank who gives you the credit card. And the banks always pay the merchant itself. So when Capital is buying that receivable, Capital is not basically underwriting the merchant nor the consumer. We're underwriting the big banks. So that's the secret sauce where we can really target and fund very low and low quality small business who are not very credit worthiness, as you said. However, we're buying AAA assets. So the counterpart who's paying are the big banks. That's why we have less than 1% of NPL, no non-performing loans in our portfolio right now.
Okay. I think I get that. I mean, I know a number of merchants who get a certain a certain percentage of refusals on the credit cards. I mean, that does happen. I'm not sure if that happens in Brazil or not. But in the States, you can get a refusal.
It does. Yes, chargebacks. It does, and we have some technology to manage that. We also are. That's a problem, but we manage that, and so far our portfolio, as I told you, is less than 1%.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a good NPL. So, all right. Yeah, I'd be interested to hear. I mean, you're focused on Brazil and then maybe more of Latin America? Is that the thinking, or what are you thinking in terms of geography? Yeah.
Yes. So far, we're super focused until we really get some traction in Brazil. But we raised investment from Vox Funding, which is a company in the US who's specialized in merchant cash advance. So we have plans in the very future to explore different geographies. But I think in the next 18 months, it's work here and build a business, very profitable business locally.
Okay. All right. Great. Thanks. Yeah.
And have you considered any unintended negative impact of this scheme?
Can you elaborate a little bit more? What do you mean when unintended?
In unintended negative impact is impact has to be intentional and it has to be positive in order to be called impact. But sometimes you're trying to do something good on one hand and it has a negative impact on the other that you hadn't thought about. I see a few big pitfalls there. Maybe it's just me.
Well, basically, when I see the impact we have on our merchants, we can reduce the average cost of capital they have, because without our solution, the only option they would have is discount those account receivables in the market. So they're kind of costly for them, and we're doing them for free. So basically, allow them get all those future revenues and use it as a method of payment with no cost.
All right, thank you.
And
Appreciate it.
question. Okay, go ahead, Destiny. Yes, please.
That you said you raised $1 million and you've only been operating for a year. So I'm just a little confused. Have you burned through that $1 million? Am I wrong about the number? I'm just kind of curious as what your goals are.
You're right. We raised $1 million. We run for a year and we have 6 months left in a runaway.
Okay. And so you're looking to raise again right now?
Okay. Yes.
And then what are your use of funds?
Sorry?
What are your goals to use the capital for?
So we basically want to put part of the funds, 40% in a credit facility to scale our business, and the other in operations and technology.
Okay.
Right. And if no more questions, I have the final question: who is in, who is out? As far as I got, Bill Reichert is in. Okay, he's raising a hand. Anyone else interested to?
Oh, geography isn't a fit, unfortunately.
Geography is a problem, yeah.
Geography is a problem, but I'm happy to look over your deck and connect you to some people I know.
Sounds fantastic. So 2 sharks are in, 1 is out, 2 left. Let's see what they got. So Chirag, are you in?
I unfortunately have to be out. This is not a thesis fit for us.
Got it. And Angelica, what about you?
Same thing, not thesis, nor geography. I'm sorry. It's an interesting project, though.
Thank you so much. So this is what you got. Congrats to Sharks are in. I will connect you after the event next day. Please share your GGW profile and support others. And we move on. The next person to present is Dan Cohen. Dan, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. You got 2 minutes and you may start now.
Thank you so much, Sharks, for being here. Every industry uses protective coating products, and nobody is very happy with them. The coatings are toxic, they cost hundreds of billions to apply and maintain, they don't last very long, and the loss and damages from their failure is catastrophic. Regulators are also quickly removing coating options from every industry. The products we depend on fail when their surfaces fail. I'm Dan Cohen, the founder of Flight Material Sciences. Without changing the basic properties of metal or glass or plastic and other materials that people trust, our laser technique creates a new surface texture on a product that cleans and protects itself with no coating. These patented techniques extend the life of products, they slash maintenance costs, it's cheaper than paint, and it avoids using billions of gallons of water and chemicals. We are the ultimate coating of no coating. So we bootstrapped this company in 2017 and proved it with paid customer projects in oil and gas, semiconductors, heating and cooling, and consumer products. Now we need to scale up the technology and build the system so our Fortune 500 customers can adopt in long-term recurring licenses directly in their manufacturing. The scale-up will cost $2 million, take less than 2 years, and the costs are subsidized by Canadian R&D grants, so the financial and technical risks are very low. The case for each client drives an average 5-year contract for $10 million a year with margins over 80%, and we have a pipeline of more than 200 customers waiting for us to grow and serve these needs. I've got 30 years of experience building and running tech companies. We've got a fantastic experienced virtual team. We're graduates of Techstars and a couple of other acceleration programs. So I invite you to join us at Flight Material Sciences, where we make everyday materials extraordinary. Thank you very much for listening.
Right on time. Thank you.
What's the current stage of your product in terms of functionality? Like what are you still developing and what's working well?
Basically, we have a laser system that can take small objects and make them water repellent, oil repellent, whether it's metal, glass, semiconductors, composites. It works on almost every solid material. And our customers looked at this and we proved a concept on their products that it works, but they want to see it in something big enough that can run in manufacturing. We just need to build a bigger toaster, and that just takes a bit of time and capital, but the risk is low.
Can you describe where you guys are at as far as traction, Dan? And then also, it'd be great to get some more information on what exactly your IP is covering.
The IP covers the entire method of determining how this laser can be adapted to work on these different materials. So we look at the materials. So there's a library of 14 patents, and we have a pretty big library of our own IP that we haven't protected yet, but basically because of costs. And we have 14 POCs in 5 different industries across 9 countries. And basically, I've got an enormous pipeline, including getting about 2 calls a week from customers because of the regulatory pressure to get rid of PFAS coatings that we can't even answer. We're not big enough to answer them yet.
Yeah. How long does your coating last?
Well, again, it's not a coating. I know this is a
well, I know your finish or whatever we want to call it.
So basically, unless there's something that's going to grind against it very firmly or crush it, it's permanent. And it's if the object is made of a durable material like a hard metal or a glass or a ceramic, then the hardness of the texture lasts as long as that material. So for the applications where things get scraped off at about 1 millimeter a month, that's not for us. Yes. But for the 50 million other SKUs, it really does work very well.
Yeah.
So
Sounds
could you give us give us more concrete, specific examples of the best products for your solution?
Well, I'll give you three quickly.
Yeah.
Number one is this thing, right? There's a coating on this that keeps fingerprints off of it. Every phone, every smartwatch, and every laptop with a touchscreen, it's currently based on PFAS chemicals. And the companies, all of whom you know, are scrambling looking for an alternative to these PFAS coatings. And we're the only one in the world saying that you can have harder glass with less glare, water repellent, and oil repellent with no coating whatsoever. So another example is a $140 million a year problem for one of our oil and gas companies in one location that we did better than any coating that they have ever tested in the last 20 years. I'll stop there, but there's more.
Okay. And what about the hulls on ships?
The hulls on ships, there's two parts of that. One is drag reduction, for which we have a texture that is excellent and well proven. And it's been proven by people with coatings, but we do it without a coating. And the second is the anti-fouling piece, for which we have an excellent solution. And we're involved in the Sea Ahead Accelerator and the Blue Ocean Swell accelerators to do these proof of concept over time, but they're not our lead markets. The lead markets are the ones who are desperate for something, for an alternative before their time runs out.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and do you guys expect to be having any US offices anytime soon or US presence at all?
Well, we created a US subsidiary and we got a cage code specifically for the aerospace and defense markets. But unless I get to move to Austin or Houston or Boston, I can't be the owner of a company that serves the US market unless we go through the Canada Commercial Corporation. So we have all the infrastructure ready to do that, within a week, but we're not formally down there for those reasons.
Okay.
If you're familiar with the compliance, if we get a venture investment, then I can move down there and operate a US corporation with a US venture company behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Questions from the Sharks?
So this is right up our alley, and so I'd be very, very interested, Dan, to connect up.
All right.
Yeah, I would like to be connected as well.
Two
It's my
Sharks.
pleasure.
Wow.
Yeah, and likewise, Dan, this is totally, within our thesis.
So we have two Sharks left, and we'll see if we have a jackpot today. We have Destini and
Fortunately not for us.
our
Not for us, but I think I have two people I would like to connect you with.
okay.
Destiny.
Four Sharks, and congratulations. Almost a jackpot. It's like bronze
Almost.
plate,
I'm very happy. Thank you very much, Daniel, for organizing this.
Congrats, Dan.
Well done, Dan.
That's done, yeah. And please share your GGW profile, and we connect you with investors next day or so. So expect an email. Next up is Michael Marcy from Mars Church. Michael, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
You got 2 minutes, and yeah, let's go.
Hello, I'm Michael Marcy, founder and CEO of Mars Charge Inc., and we build advanced electric vehicle chargers that double as commercial power plants. I can't understate how monumental the shift is, not just for the electrical grid, not just for EVs, but also you add, blockchain and especially AI. Our grid is not ready. I recently got back from Oak Ridge National Labs because we were part of a U.S. Department of Energy research program, and they said if we all snapped our fingers overnight and went electric, the grid would need to 14x in size, 14 times. Now, in our U.S. Department of Energy program, we developed advanced power electronics, thermal management, and applying artificial intelligence to power control algorithms that would improve basically broadly around grid resilience and EV charging. What we soon discovered is that we way overshot our technical goals, and the existing offerings for charging it wasn't good enough we were pulling so much power that the grid couldn't provide it. So our technology would ultimately go to waste. So what we developed is a 2-in-1 battery storage system and charging system. And what this allows us to do is deploy charging either off-grid, semi-off-grid, or if you do lay the infrastructure to act as a enhancement tool or a resiliency tool for the grid itself. So that way we can actually apply more powerful charging faster and does not degrade the battery as most EV charging solutions do. Moreover, we have a unique approach to the business itself that allows us to be highly profitable by focusing on a middle market where we aren't focused on slow charging, which is like the ones you have at home or at your office that takes 8 hours to charge the vehicle, those level 2 chargers, and not quite at the supercharger where you have to lay, again, massive amounts of infrastructure at huge cost near highways and cross-country rest stops, but this middle market where it's the retail and fleet charging. I think I ran out of time. Okay.
Maybe you have a final statement for 5 seconds. Oh, yeah.
Oh, final statement. We have $10 million in purchase orders already for our commercial product, and we're looking to raise essentially an angel round to fulfill the first units of our orders.
Sounds good. Anyways.
So to kick things off, what about, like, tell me a little about your background and team in terms of like why you will win.
Sure. Yeah. So I was kind of born into this industry. I have my father, my uncles have all been working in the electronic space since before I can remember. I have an economics degree. I don't know if you can see in the camera, but I built this electric motorcycle behind you in college. It's if anybody want to do a follow-up meeting, I'll get to show it off. But I actually built an electric vehicle. My main business partner is a PhD electrical engineer from the Technical University of Berlin. He worked on Porsche's drivetrain and EV charging. He's worked in electric aerospace. A key team member is the former director of EV charging infrastructure for Pacific Gas and Electric, the major utility in Northern California. He oversaw $1 billion worth of energy assets. On the manufacturing side, we have Dave Penman, who has over 30 years experience putting up manufacturing lines or managing contract manufacturing lines all around the world, US, Europe, and more. We have team members who have worked on Tesla's power electronics. As a matter of fact, I've actually built the inverter. So if you drive a Tesla right now, you're using the technology that our team has developed. And yeah.
Michael, this is incredibly impressive. Can you talk about like how you guys, I know we've asked this question a lot with other pitches so far, but there's a bunch of other companies that are working on something with more efficient EV charging. I believe actually, Daniil, there was a company in San Francisco when I was there for the in-person event that was doing something within this space.
Yeah.
So it's a very saturated and very competitive market, and the fact that you guys have a great team behind you is a great way to kind of break into something like this. But aside from the team, how do you guys see yourself being the winner ultimately?
Sure. Well, first of all, I would again fall on the team, as you mentioned. We also have patent protection, and also all of these companies. You could list off 15 companies that are building EV charging offering products.
Yeah.
There's no shortage of companies doing that, and then there's also no shortage of demand. This is the great disconnect, and it's kind of it's not any mystery to us, but why a lot of investors are scratching their head. There's so much demand. I can't tell you how many hundreds of sites I've been to where there's people waiting to get a charge and they're waiting in line around the block. And some of these well-selected sites their simple payback is so fast, like within 8 months. And what's the answer? It's the electrical grid. To lay the power that you need. To put in perspective, a single Tesla V3 supercharger pulls enough power to power 100 homes. To lay 10 of those out is the electrical development of a small suburban neighborhood. Now, the utilities have to allocate resources to upgrade that system. So the standard now is they might tell you it will take like a year to lay your lines, but in Southern California, if you want to put in a fast charging station, the utilities are like, great, we'd love for you to do that. Get in line. It's going to take 3 years before we turn dirt on the project.
Yeah.
And 3 years is an eternity to get this.
Right, Michael. So again, I think where Chirag is going is that there are a bunch of companies addressing exactly that, i.e. the issue that the grid won't necessarily support superchargers. And so they're coming up with alternate ways, including, battery packs, including, sort of natural gas powered systems to bypass the grid infrastructure problem.
Yeah.
Or for charging cars and fleets and apartment buildings and blah blah blah.
Exactly. So exactly, Bill. You got it right. Yeah. So on the specifics around, I don't even need to justify that storage and charging are now the future. As a matter of fact, I've spoken with the head of Volkswagen, and they admitted to me that where they've had success is deployment of storage. But the way it's deployed right now is it's kind of it's these large systems that are super inefficient. We had to create our own term to describe what we're talking about, which is power to storage ratio, which is in order to deploy storage, you need enough output from that storage in order to get the fast charging. But the problem is the current solutions don't put enough power output, and therefore you have to deploy excessive amounts of charging, so you don't get the capital cost saving, and you get a lot of the you get some operating cost savings, but your waste, it's almost like the trade-off isn't quite there. But with ours, you can reduce the amount of storage that you need to get the power output that you need. And not only that, you can break it up into Lego blocks, which we call the Lego block approach, where you can start with a small unit and then add on as needed. And there's a variety of other technologies that we've developed. Sorry.
Well, so the proof of the pudding. What is your cost of electricity in terms of per kilowatt hour? What in order to deliver a kilowatt hour of electricity or power into a car, what does it cost you?
It's highly dependent on the location. So depending on what the client wants, some areas, that is a very nuanced question, particularly in a deregulated grid, like let's say like California. Sometimes it's negative. Sometimes your cost is literally negative because the power companies want to take the power so they can balance the grid. Sometimes it's expensive when you're talking about peak days. So the margins can be highly variable. Right. But I think it's more to a point of, you're asking, how is it that we're making the electricity profitable? But that's asking the wrong question. Mainly, sure, battery storage will make it more profitable. And if you get a good location, these stations are highly, highly profitable. But on a wide industry scope, you have to take your cues from the gas station business model, which 60% of their profits come from the retail stores. When you go fill up your gas tank, and you sell potato chips for $5, right?
You're going to be selling Slurpees, right? So
yeah, exactly.
Okay, what's the capex? What is the capex per kilowatt hour of storage capacity for your system?
Okay, so it depends on how much they buy, but if you were just going to buy a one-off units per kilowatt hour, sorry, let me do some quick division on this.
And what is the capacity of your one-off unit?
It's 135 kilowatt hours of usable storage, 144 peak storage.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't have the kilowatt hour to dollar
All right.
ratio.
We gotta move on.
We can do a follow-up question.
Okay, I'll be interested in following up. So if we this is again a domain that we are delving into. We haven't pulled the trigger on anyone yet, but we've looked at a lot of these guys. So I'll be interested to see how you compare.
Okay, so you're in, right? Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I'm definitely in as well. Michael, I will just caveat by saying that I still think it's a very competitive market, but I'm really, really eager to learn more about what you guys are doing, especially related to IP and just trying to stand out from the crowd here. I think you guys have a phenomenal team behind you that probably can get the job done, but definitely want to learn more. So and also selfishly, I want to see that electric bike that you've created too. So
thank you.
Right, and
I don't get showed off that often, so why not? Are you based in the Bay? Maybe I'll drive it over there.
I was there in October, but hopefully sometime soon.
Okay, the next event we do in San Francisco, you should come by bike, and every investor and startup by your bike.
Okay, yeah, we'll do.
We have 2 investors interested to connect and 3 left. Let's see what they got. Angelica?
I'm afraid I'm not within the thesis, but I love the project. Sorry about that.
I had some questions on it, so just like some more follow-up questions. I need a bit more information.
Okay, so that means
interested in learning more.
All right,
thank you.
3 sharks are in, and the Destini,
I'm not in at this time, but I love the work you're doing, and I would love to just tell you to think about. You probably are, but your exit strategy. What are your goals in the next 5 years? Who do you plan to sell it to? I think that would be very helpful for any investor to know.
All right. So next up is
All right. Thank you, everyone.
so much.
Thanks.
Next is
Yes.
Andrei Norkin, Clever AI. Andrei, you there?
Yeah.
Let me
Hi
look.
guys.
Did you raise your hands? I don't see you.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you see?
Yeah, found you. All right. You got 2 minutes and you may start now.
Hi, my name is Andre. I'm the CEO of Clever AI here in Berkeley, California, San Francisco Bay, working on solving the affordable housing crisis on the supply side. We have launched a AI-powered pre-construction platform that helps developers who build more than 20 units per year to identify real estate land for their future projects and to create entitlement documentations in minutes instead of years. We have launched our platform with 4 pre-orders in September, got 200K in booked revenue, and in 3 months we grew our pre-orders to 1.7 million. I just successfully closed my pre-seed, $500,000 with one lead investor last week. And yeah, looking forward to collecting your feedback and potentially talking to you for our future seed round.
All right. That's fast. Dear Sharks, any questions?
Yeah, I'd love to learn a little bit more about kind of the business model.
Yeah, so right now we charge a subscription fee that is $5,000 per month that gives access to our data to find unique land. The land that we identify is proprietary data that we manually aggregate from cities. So we have to go city by city, county by county, and approach mostly city planners to provide us their data. Most of the time it's unstructured data. So for developers, they cannot Google for those parcels, they can find this data, and we make it searchable with a kind of with text. So you can use natural text to search. That's what the AI kind of empowerment is. So we make previously hard to find data easy to find. The data is not on the MLS, so you'll find this data on Zillow or like LoopNet, all those other sites. So we give them a unique channel for land that they will not find otherwise. So $5,000 per month to access to the data set and exclusivity on submitting proposals for the project. And then we charged, we started with actually $1,500 per approved unit, quickly realized it was too low. And the last 2 contracts we signed at $20,000 per approved unit. So
Okay.
developers that we sign, they build at least 20 units per year.
Any more questions?
So you're going geography by geography, right? I mean,
Yeah, we started with California. So right now we have 5,500 acres in California. There are like almost 1 billion acres in the United States of like 2 billion in the United States, but the ones that kind of get entitled is 1 billion.
Okay, I'm so your customers are developers, right? Are they
real estate developers who build residential right now?
It's primarily residential. Yeah. So you're well, and so it's not necessarily small lots, but it's not big tracts, or is it? I mean, are you looking
we do
for
big tracts too? Yeah. So like 4 clients are modular builders, so they mobile home manufacturers. So they're looking for lots between 20 and 80 acres. Yeah.
Okay.
So lots as well. Yeah.
And so the market failure, you're solving a market failure, which is that for some reason this land is not easily identifiable, from other sources. Why isn't this land easily identifiable from other sources? What are we misunderstanding about the market?
Yeah. Well, so right now I think just every city has a website that is uniquely built. And pretty much the data, while it's public, you need to submit a request to get it from the city. And each city has it's in different format. It's some cities have it in PDFs, some cities have it like in kind of unstructured format, that's just JS codes. So we interpret the data into one format and make it searchable.
Okay, we have a little more hands to present, so I gotta have a hard stop here. Are there any sharks interested to connect with?
I'd like to be connected.
Perfect. So one shark is in. Anyone else?
Really interesting. It's not a fit. I'm not a good use of your time. though.
Yeah, same here, but good project.
Yeah, unfortunately not a fit for us either.
Okay, Destini, did you raise your hand? Did I catch it or not?
Yes, I'm interested in the impact lens, so I'll need to see a deck to figure out if it's a good fit right now.
Perfect. Thank you. Andrei, please share your GGW profile and support others and continue innovating your space.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next person is Eric Amiot. Eric, I'm a little rushing here, so you got 2 minutes. You may start now.
Great. Thank you so much. Adopting and stepping into a lifestyle of resiliency and sustainability and self-sufficiency is at best awkward, convoluted, and fragmented. At eShow, we've provided an entire ecosystem that allows people to step into that lifestyle and receive support along their journey wherever they are, start to finish. I'm Eric Amiot, the CEO and founder of eShow.house, and we've created the world's first generative, post-install, scalable, and modular housing system. I apologize in advance. I'm dealing with a family emergency and pulled over on the side of the road, so I'm trying to get this in as quickly as I can. At eShow, our home manufacturing begins in January, so in the next 4 or 5 weeks. We stopped market fit assessment with the housing platform that we've created when we reached $250 million of pipeline pre-launch. And we've taken this full technology stack at eShow in the homes that we've created and offered it through a vertical channel or market channel called Revive. We're post-revenue at Revive, operating in 4 states, including Colorado, California, Oregon, and Texas. And I just came back from a Florida trip where we've acquired our first handful of clients there. We'll close this first year of revenue at $600,000. We've recently closed a friends and family round of $145,000 to pour some rocket fuel on our Revive portion of our business. And we're looking forward to launching our e-commerce platform, which provides the same technology stack to DIY and out-of-market customers in the United States of America. I'll stop at that.
Perfect. Any questions from the sharks? Anyone interested?
What's your background?
My background is essentially veteran startup founder. My last group of companies included a group of companies in the vertical farming and controlled environment agricultural space. I grew those companies in the first 2 years, starting in 2012, into a multinational manufacturing and distribution company that now houses vertical farms everywhere from the Arctic to Abu Dhabi to South America, with manufacturing and global distribution in 10 countries, including Asia, Europe, United States, Canada, actually in Australia. I guess I would say my superpower is storytelling and convincing wonderful founding team members to join the startups that I started.
What proprietary technology do you have?
So primarily at this time, due to where we are in our stage of fundraising, it's master integration of existing and proprietary technologies. I would say with on the housing side of things, it's the post-install scalability and accessibility and attainability in terms of cost to an eco-luxury product for people wherever they are in terms of their home buying or hospitality journey. On the energy, water, and food side, we've created and tested initial runs of energy, water, and food systems in atmospheric water extraction, biomimetic, and aeroelastic flutter wind turbines, and root vegetable and protein crop farming implements. So eventually, eShow's homes will be white labeled. We're just not at that point yet.
Can you talk about where you're launching, what traction has looked like so far?
Yep. On the housing side of things, we're working with, so we stopped our market fit analysis around 8 months ago, again, when we reached $250 million pipeline. I understand the implications of that word. I think we'll probably land somewhere around 5 to 10% of that in terms of our first year and a half of manufacturing need or pipeline allocation. We also have secured and have started focusing on 5 hospitality groups, 2 large scale and 3 boutique or niche hospitality providers in terms of our B2B pipeline. And we stopped taking pre-orders when we reached 10 homes on the consumer residential side. And again, with Revive, the sum of parts or kit of parts that we're doing as retrofits and infills, we started producing revenues in February of this year, and we'll cap at $600,000 by the end of this coming week. And we're slated to do 2.2 in the first quarter and a half, 2025.
Is that ARR?
Correct. Yes.
Oh, I thought you were building homes. What am I missing?
We're doing both. No, we're doing both. So we started with the design and manufacturing of the homes. Again, manufacturing officially begins in the 4th week of January in 2025, so the next 5 weeks or so. In order to hold ourselves up by our own bootstraps, because I was bootstrapping this startup, I decided to launch an adjacent or parallel business and revenue channel called Revive at eShow. So a department, if you will, and to part out or kit out the solutions within the home. So yes, we're selling homes to B2B and B2C clients, or direct to consumer, pardon me. But while we're doing that, so that I didn't have to keep draining my coffer, I decided to create a revenue channel called Revive. So we're installing the same technologies into existing homes in those 4 states: Colorado, California, Texas, and Oregon.
All right.
Nope.
Bill, do you want to do the final question?
I was just so we're investors in a company out of Japan called Homa. That sounds pretty simple. You know Homa, okay?
I know.
Okay. All right. Okay. It is somewhat similar, but okay.
Yeah, I would say our differentiator over Homa is a holistic tech stack to make these homes self-sufficient. The homes require no sewer, septic, or energy tie-ins. They produce potable water, grow food out of their walls year-round, are post-install scalable, create their own energy, of course, and eliminate human waste in the bathroom and the kitchen. A true self-sufficient closed-loop system. That would be our differentiator.
Thank you.
Okay.
More questions? Then, dear Sharks, please let me know who is interested to connect with Eric. Who's in?
I'd like to take a look at the pitch deck.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, Eric, I'm interested in learning more as well.
Perfect. 2 Sharks are in. 3 left.
Thank you.
No one else interested?
No. So I think I need to take a look at this too. If that's okay, Eric. Thank you.
Destiny, what about you?
I'm not interested at this time, and I hope you're safe wherever you are.
Yeah, stay safe. Thank you for
Stay
taking the
safe
time.
wherever you are. Yeah,
Angelica as well. You're not, right?
I'm out as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Eric.
Great.
But yeah, great job. Yeah, the next up is Vlad Duplakin. Just a second, let me find you. Okay, here you are. Vlad, you got 2 minutes and you may start now. It's probably the final pitch for today.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Vlad. I'm founder of Joiny. It's AI community manager that helps to create trusted, self-organized communities. Our journey began back to the Institute with creating an alumni community for our university, uniting Nobel Prize laureates in physics, unicorn founders, scientists, entrepreneurs, and other 1,000 active alumni. Our mission was to connect people based on their interests and needs through engaging newsletters, delivered via email, bots on WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Discord, and Slack. Whenever our alumni are active, we brought them together with one-to-one connections. Since then, 10 universities and companies asked us to do the same for them, and we doubled our revenue several times this year and achieved $200,000. And then we understood what problem do we solve. More than 1 million of companies are trying to build their online communities, but they all struggle with the same issues. Companies want to own the data in their communities. Facebook, Discord, and LinkedIn owns this community data. Engagement is low. Only 10% of group chats on WhatsApp and Facebook are active. People just mute them nowadays. And people don't want to register in one more community platform like Hivebright, Mighty Networks, etc. That's why we created a community manager that can be integrated anywhere in social media, on the website, and even in mobile application of the brand. Why we started with universities? Because many of our end users are part of different professional communities, and we can expand to enterprises, employee, customer, gaming, healthcare, and other types of organizations. We are second-time founders. I previously created and sold a predictive analytics startup to the biggest Hollandaise company in Germany. And with the help of my product, I was matched with Anna, the best product owner, and now we build this together. Thank you.
I'll kick things off. I know a lot about this space. I've seen a lot of companies try to do something similar, and I think there's a huge need for this. And so I'm kind of curious, like, how you're going to successfully do this, because if you can, a lot of universities would buy into it.
Yes, sure. The main thing, thank you for the question. The main thing is that we can be integrated in Discord, for example, because a lot of universities, they already have community spaces there, or on LinkedIn or on Slack, and ask people to fulfill some information and be matched with the people they really need in order to find a job, in order to find investors and other things. So integrations is the main thing here. So we don't want to register them in one more community platform.
Any more questions?
I had a question related to who you're currently targeting, and then if your goal is to move outside of universities, how would you navigate that space?
Usually we work now we work only with tech universities because we understand how to bring people in these universities together in a more effective way. Maybe I misunderstood a little bit your question. Can you please repeat?
Yeah, so I think within like the venture capital space, we have different communities that are trying to be built. Within investor spaces, there's different communities that are trying to be built. I don't think Slack is doing a good job. So I just kind of want to know how you look to scale, like what your scale goals are.
You mean next communities that we work with? Our next goal is to work with gaming communities and with sport communities, because we see the very big industry demand there in order to engage users in playing in different games and to be involved in different type of sports. Companies really want to do something, and community that will motivate you to increase more, to spend more time in different games or different sport activities. This is very important for marketing strategy. That's why gaming is the second step. Also, we are in partnership with Google developers community. This is our third step, like professional communities. And also we will launch a community for Nobel Prize laureates next year. But this is the third step.
And looking on your site, I see you're based in Sarasota, I think. And so are you like national or international right now?
We are an international company, so our head office in Sarasota, and 80% of our revenue coming from United States, and 20% is coming from Europe. And we have also office in Estonia.
Okay.
All right. If no more questions, anyone else? Okay, this is the time we wrap this up. And the final question to the Sharks, who is interested to connect with Vlad.
I'd like to be connected.
Perfect.
Nice to see the deck.
Who else? Yes.
Like to see the deck.
Okay. All right. And what about Build and Chirag?
I'll have to sit this one out, unfortunately.
I'll pass on this. Thanks.
All right. So good job, Vlad. Please share your GGW profile here. And yeah, we closing the session. I'm putting myself back to the stage. We have a few minutes left to close this. And first of all, great job, everyone. Thanks for amazing pitches. So for the numbers, we had 11 projects pitched today, and we've got 22 matches with investors. And these introductions will follow today or tomorrow. And before I do my closing statement, I actually want investors to close. Maybe they want to jump off. So before they jump off, I let them talk. So we start with Angelica and go one by one. Angelica, please share a few words about. Please share your feedback.
It was. Thank you, Daniel. It was a very good session. I think that the quality of the pitches is getting better and better thanks to all the support material that people can find on the Go Global World platform. So I encourage everybody to look at it. Remember that a good pitch comes from a good salesman. We as investors need to see good salespeople because you need to be able to sell ice to the Eskimos in order to be successful. So work on that skill as much as on your business model, and you're going to do great.
Thank you. Always great to have you. Bill Reichert, what do you have to say?
Yes, well, just again, thanks, Daniel, for this, and great to see you work with the guys on the team on the panel here. Yes, I do think that thanks, I assume, to your hard work out in the fields there, Daniel, the pitches are getting better and better. Following up on Angelica's point in terms of, to be a good salesperson, you have got to have a unique and compelling value proposition that, gets across such that your customers or your investors, your target investors say, wow, that's amazing. So if it's not clear, compelling, and credible, nobody's going to say wow. And so just make sure that you are clear, compelling, and credible. I think, a few of you heard us sort of puzzling after the pitch in terms of what are you really doing. You never want to have that happen. So work with your friends to make sure that your short pitch is coming across in a way that everybody can understand what you're doing and what your compelling value proposition is. But thanks again, Daniel, and hope to see you all at a Startup World Cup event near you sometime in the coming year.
Yeah, thank you. And everyone check out Startup World Cup, and there will be one in Las Vegas. So I'm really eager to join. So hopefully Bill get me on. I'm joking. But yeah, thank you, Bill, for your feedback. Destini, what's your thoughts on our feedback to the startups?
Yeah, thanks so much for taking the time, especially so close to Christmas. I truly see the work ethic of all of you all. I think something that I would love to know, along with the story, along with your why, your journey, you're taking us on a journey with you. We're getting into the car with you. We're hoping to get to a favorable destination. So we have to know your strategy. We have to know your future goals. We have to know what your destination even is. So I think kind of building on that would be also very helpful. And also what Bill mentioned as well, having this conversation with someone that doesn't know your business, doesn't know anything about what you're trying to do, and see if they understand you. I think that's a good way to pitch.
Thank you, Destiny. Very well said. Thank you, appreciate that, and we'll be excited to have you again on our future events. Chirag, what's your take on for the founders?
Yes, it's been a wonderful event. Great to see and hear all these pitches. I think, Daniel, it just speaks to your hard work and the effort that you've put into to now put on 50 of these shows. And what a privilege it's been to be on number 50 with the rest of this panel. So I think congrats to you, congrats to the folks that pitched to all of us here. I think if there's any piece of parting advice that I can leave for folks is that, especially at the early stage, those in the audience that might have early stage companies pre-revenue, pre-go-to-market, I think that the biggest things is there are VC firms that exist that invest on napkin sketch or napkin drawing ideas. There's few of them, but those exist, and the biggest things that they look for is one, they're looking to see if there's a solution to a problem that genuinely exists. That's the first thing, is that if you have a solution and people are seeking out that solution, then you're on your way. The second thing being is that is there a large market, and for VCs they like to see multi-$100 million markets or at the minimum $1 billion markets, and so if that's something that you're working on, then it can be a fit for a venture fund. And then lastly, what I'll say is the team, and at the early stages the team is really what matters and can get things across the finish line. And so since Angelica had a great analogy there, I'll put one of my own. At the early stages, it's really about sometimes betting on the jockey, not the horse, because the horse is still being trained. And so while the horse is being trained, they're gonna trust, the VC is gonna trust the jockey to be able to lead the horse to water. So I'll leave everybody with that. And thanks again, Daniel, for putting this incredible event on.
Very beautiful statement. I love that. And Sarah, you're closing our global session. You opened this and closed it, actually. Lucky you. So no pressure.
Well, first of all, thank you all. I really enjoyed this, and I love seeing how much the pitches have been improving. I can definitely see the hard work, and I really appreciate that. I'll keep this short, but I think my main thing is advice to founders is that even if you end up pitching and you don't get interest from an investor, just understand that sometimes it doesn't actually have to do with the business, and it's more based on our thesis and based on what we're looking for in terms of what we're focusing on at the moment. But also understand too that there are a lot of other investors that it may be a better fit for. So just understand that when we're giving feedback, we're doing this as much as we can to help, and that we really believe in the companies that we're working with. And so I would say that just keep getting practice. It's always a great thing for founders to get experience pitching, and just find places in your local community where you can pitch. So whether that's like in-person events, pitching online, but whatever you can do to just keep pitching, because over time you're going to get better. And so getting feedback, this is kind of echoing from some of the previous Sharks, but making sure to get feedback from people that don't know you well and will give you very honest, direct feedback, even if it's difficult, because the direct and honest feedback that's very critical is going to help you improve the most. So I would say really seek out that feedback, maybe even from investors, and saying, hey, like, what's the thing that you dislike the most about the business? And that way you can improve a lot faster. So with that, thank you all. I really enjoyed getting to be here.
Thank you. And with that, we are closing our global session. First of all, thank you everyone for being with us so many years, supporting us. Great job today with pitching. Thank you investors for being here with us today, right before Christmas. And with that, I need to say that Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy New Year. Be well. Enjoy this end of the year, and meet the success on a lot of joy in the next year. Go Global World team. It's not only me. I'm just the face. I have amazing team, Anna and Victoria and others on our team who are doing this thing happening for you. So we are doing this together. And the final say I would like to say that we are having a Christmas sale, 25% off for our global annual pricing plans for those who want to be on GGW platform. Take advantage of this. This is going to be ending by the end of the year. So act now and share with others. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas and stay in touch. We love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Happy
holidays.
Happy
Thank you.
holidays.
Thank you. Happy holidays. Bye-bye.
До свидания.
До свидания. You're right.